Hey everybody, John Harris here with you with my pal Billy Smith, and we are here coming to you from the cheap seats, just like always. Hey Bill, how's it going?
Johnny, pretty good. How you doing?
Well, hey, if it doesn't get any better than this, then I'm still okay. I'm breathing. If
There
it
you
does
go.
get better than this, I'm better than okay. Woohoo! It means
I know
it
that
means
feeling.
I'm near Christy Brinkley, and you won't hear from me for a while. So somebody the other day, I looked at a thing and I said, "You should look at Christy Brinkley's older than me, and looks 25 years younger than me." So I mean, so hot, dude. Um, but she knows it. Yes, that sounded like I was sexist, but only when it's in regards to Christy Brinkley. Um, all right, buddy. So I guess it's time to rock and roll here. We'll mention a couple things. One, we're going to have a special show probably beginning of next week, it looks like, to discuss all the baseball moves up to date, up till the day we tape. I mean, we know of some of them, but we'll go over them all, list them, discuss them, things like that. I mean, a couple of big ones, but we're just going to mention them to you news-wise and move on. Aaron Judge, of course, signed for what, 360 for 9 years. I don't know what Bogart's numbers were, but he signed today with San Diego. Of course, Judge re-signed with the Yankees, I should say. Bogart signed with San Diego. Yikes! It's a Red Sox fan, that hurts me. But also as a Phillies fan, they're having a good free agency
Yeah.
set up, man. I mean, they filled a need with Walker. They filled a need at shortstop with Trey Turner. They filled a need in the bullpen with another lefty. So it looks like they're taking it serious too. And there's been a few other trades and signings and developments, and we'll discuss all them next week on a special edition from the cheap seats that will be a baseball topic show only. And then, of course, we'll have our regular weekly show later in the week with our NFL picks. But we're about ready to do week 14. Bill, you ready?
Gotta be better this week than last week.
Yeah, last week, buddy, I'm sorry. I really do feel
That's the last time I'm going out on an assignment for you.
no more assignments, buddy, because and I'm not going to
I see
send
what
you on
you
any.
did. I see what you did to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna keep you too busy so that you can't do the research, because I felt bad when I started looking at it. I was like, oh my God,
Oh my
I
goodness
might have
gracious.
sealed the season, at least in a couple of
Mm-hmm.
things here. Yeah. Um, so we'll go over what it was real fast. Last week, straight, you didn't do too bad, Bill. You 10-4-1. There were 15 games this past week. We both had a tie, obviously, picking straight. Uh, I had a monster week at 12-2-1. That put you straight picks at 100 wins, 78 losses. Well, now two ties. Oh yeah, so I'm looking at the wrong place. I'm sorry. 110 wins, 82 losses, two ties, and at 57.3%. So you did actually climb up pretty good on the straight picks. You're getting there. On this, meanwhile, I did on the straight picks. I was 12-2. And those two were upsets, and one I talked myself out of. I was so mad at myself. I really was. The Raiders game, I just kept talking myself out of it. I couldn't go with the Raiders, and I should have. What a dumbass. But lost that one, and I'm trying to see what the other one was. I lost. Cincinnati, Kansas City. Of course, we both lost that one, but who knew? That was really close. Wouldn't surprise me if those two are in the finals again, unless Buffalo beats one of them.
Right.
But to me, they're like the three best teams in the AFC.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else is even close to it. Miami had some play, but I think Miami's not really that close, because it looks like they're going to have to outscore everybody.
Right.
They don't really have much on defense. So I was 12-2. That takes me to 118-84-2 for the season, 58.4% in straight up picks. Yeah, so that's a bit of that's not that much percentage wise, because we've picked so many games, but it is 8 games above you, buddy. So it's not too good. Sorry. Um, but you got a shot because I mean I was in bad shape last year and
Yeah, I only got to
fought you the
pick up
last couple weeks. So
two each week. I got to pick
that's
up.
right. If you pick up 2 or 3 each week, and we both have seen it can be done. Against the spread, this is where you had a tough week, my friend. Where are we? Yeah, you were 5-10. Uh, no pushes. I was 9-6. Not a great week, but um, it was better than the weeks I've had before. That made you 89 wins, 103 losses, 3 pushes, 46.3%. You actually went down about a percentage point, uh, which considering it was a tough week for you, that's not too bad. Um, I'm 102 and 90 with 3 pushes. Still not great, only at 53%. So, I'm not, I'm in the hunt with Vegas,
Yeah,
but they're still ahead of me a little bit. They're almost at 60% now. So, but I gained on them a little bit. So now let's go to the crux of the matter. Big game tonight, the first one. Uh, looks to me like the Raiders are picked over the Rams by 6.5 points. That's what I'm looking at right now as we speak on DraftKings.
yeah, no,
Wolford might be out. It's questionable.
and yeah, they just
Aaron
picked
Donald
and
is
yeah,
out for
and
the
the Rams
Rams.
picked up Baker Mayfield during the week, and they say he possibly could play. I'm not sure if he would be able to start, but I think he
Right.
might be able to come in relief.
Yeah. That's one of them
I'm
things that
not
we're
really sure.
probably not going to know until game time. If
Right.
I would think if Wolford can play, they'll start him. And Baker would be the backup if he's close enough to ready.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, if they got to start Baker after only a few days of having him in camp, then somebody's really hurting.
Yeah.
So uh, Vegas has the only playmaker injury that I saw was Jacobs is questionable with a quad, but he's been questionable.
Right. And he
Um,
should play. He
and he
was
should
questionable
play.
last week and did well.
Yeah, it
So
was the same thing. So uh, I'm going to take Vegas across the board. I know it's 6.5 seems big, but that quarterback situation for the Rams looks bad.
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I don't think it might be like a 8 point, 10 point game, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. But
Yeah, I think with Aaron Donald out though that it hurts the Rams defense obviously, and I think you're right. But it might be 8 points. It won't be a 20-point win, but it'll be more
right.
than 6.5 at least. Um, ready to start the 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Wow, 1 p.m. They overseas it. The 1 p.m. games in for Sunday. The next one listed here on DraftKings, I'll do it that way, is the Jets and the Bills. The Bills are favored by 10.
Yeah.
That
Phew.
is a high. And didn't
That's
the
a
Jets beat the Bills early in the
I
season?
I believe
That's
so.
I think that's one of their losses. Now it is in Buffalo, and it is a
Yeah,
1 o'clock
and
game.
and the Jets are, banged up at running back.
Oh, that's true. You're right. That is true.
But 10 points is a lot for a division game.
That is a lot.
And I'm
Um,
not really sure what the weather's going to be like in Buffalo. It's going to be fairly nice here on the East Coast, but I'm not sure north what it's going to
Buffalo,
be
you
like.
never know. Yeah, I'm gonna take Buffalo straight.
Oh yeah, definitely take Buffalo straight. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know about the spread.
Uh,
It's just a
um,
high
uh,
spread.
I'm stuck on the spread myself.
I'll look and see if there's any updates on injuries, but that seems like a high spread. Von Miller is out, and by the way, he's out for the
Yes, he's
season.
for season.
For
Yeah.
the season, right? Um, I don't Crowder, but he's been out with an ankle. He's on IR now. Nobody, Micah Hyde, he's on IR. So let's take a look at the Jets and see what we have, my friend. I'm getting used to these new eyeballs, and it's a little different. In a decent way, but it just takes a couple minutes to get used to them. Let's see. Corey Davis did not practice Wednesday, is questionable. Fans, that's OT. Zane Lewis.
I think the main thing is their defense. I'm not sure if they have some
Yeah,
defense or defenders banged up or not.
I'm looking to see Zane Lewis, the cornerback is questionable, just as undisclosed reason. O tackle, strong safety Joyner, Lamarcus Joyner, limited practice on Wednesday. He's questionable. DJ Reed is questionable. He's a cornerback. That's all I really have as far as defense that I
Right.
see.
And that's big.
Well, Clemens, Michael Clemens, the defensive end, did not practice. It says he's questionable with a knee injury. So it's up to you, buddy. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, right.
I think I'm gonna take the Bills across the board, I believe.
Okay.
I may change that, but I have to see what the matchups on what the receivers are, because if the
Yeah.
Jets have any defensive
Any
backs,
secondary? Yeah.
yeah, the secondary, I could.
I think I'm doing the same, Bill. I think I'm going to keep Buffalo across the board. It's in Buffalo. You know the weather will at least be cold, even if it doesn't
Right.
snow. But the Jets play in cold weather too. They just don't play in as much snow. I think Buffalo will figure out a way to get some pressure on Mike White. And if anything, I think Buffalo will outscore them, if anything
Yeah,
else.
I mean, if the Jets beat them previously, which I believe they did, then I think Buffalo is gonna
Oh, they're going to come out for
remember that. Yeah,
revenge. And it's a big game for them because now they hold their own destiny. They are the
number
top
one
seed
seed. Yeah.
technically. Yeah. So I think they're going to come out on all cylinders, and I think they'll beat the Jets. Let's see here. According to DraftKings, the next game listed is Philadelphia and the Giants. The spread is 7 for Philadelphia.
Yeah, another division game. I think did the Eagles beat them the first time? I believe so. Or did
Yeah,
they?
I think they
Yeah,
did because they've only lost one game. Who was it to? Shoot, I know Detroit almost beat them. Was it the Giants? Oh, the Commanders beat them.
Commanders beat them. Yeah,
Yeah, so they've only lost that one game to Washington. So,
but I think they
but
played the
they haven't
Giants.
played yet. This is the first time they've played.
Oh, they are playing the first time.
Yeah, they got to play again in a couple of weeks. I think 2 or 3 weeks. I
Yeah,
don't see the Giants scoring enough on Philadelphia.
yeah. No, I agree. They're too one-dimensional, and
Yeah. Injuries. I can look that up fairly quickly. Philadelphia's right here. Let's see. Watkins is questionable. I think he'll probably play at this point. It's an AC joint. They said, yeah, his shoulder. That's right. He got hurt last week's game. Robert Quinn, who really hasn't done anything, is on IR. Looking for Philly. Goddard's still on IR. Okay, so now we look up the Giants, see what they're all about, and they have Barkley's questionable, the neck injury.
Mm.
I'm looking to see if there's anybody else that we would. I don't. Wow, they got a lot of people on the list, though. They do. They got a ton. Wandale Robinson is on IR. Okay, everybody else is Yeah. So playmakers wise, it's Barkley is questionable. That's
Yeah,
about it.
I'll take the Eagles across the board.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I think that's I don't see the Giants having enough weapons, and Philadelphia's defense is pretty good. And now it seems like they've shored up the running defense a little bit. I mean,
Right.
look what they did with Tennessee and Derrick Henry. Nobody expected that. I know
Right.
I didn't, and I was rooting for the Eagles, and I
Right.
did not expect them to do what they did with Derrick Henry. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Um, at some point, I'm sure we'll have some kind of a difference to make us do this. Minnesota and Detroit. In Detroit, Detroit is now favored by 2. It's been 1 most of the week, but now it's 2.
Yeah, I mean Detroit's been playing some really good ball, but that's a disrespect to the Vikings who's run
Who
away
are
with
what?
that division.
9-2 or 10-2?
So
That's a that 10-2 team against a
so
sub 500 team, right?
so
Aren't the
either Vegas knows something or
Well,
uh,
that's the way I've started to look at things is they do seem to know something. Now, don't get me wrong, I still use the eye test mostly.
right,
But if it's a close game, I seem to think that Vegas knows something. Um, what I do not know. I'll look at Minnesota here to see if they have anything that's Irv Smith was put on IR. Let's see. Ham, the fullback, didn't practice. He's questionable. Henry Hunter, Harrison Smith. I'm looking to see any other big names for Minnesota. No, playmakers wise, doesn't look too bad. I mean, now
yeah,
let's look
no,
at Detroit because I'm really more than tempted to take Minnesota across the board.
right,
But it is in Detroit. That is one thing. Did they do this wrong alphabetically? Because nope, here they are. Okay. Craig Reynolds is on IR with ribs. Looking at anybody else. Nate Sudfeld. No, he's out for practice, but he's a backup.
yeah,
Oh, illness. Okay, I was gonna say, how did he get hurt? He hasn't played. He put on his hat wrong and scratched his head or something. I don't know. I was like, how did he get hurt? He hurt his hand with the clipboard. He's got writer's cramp. He can't hold the ball now. He's the only one that I see that is a skill player.
yeah.
So
I think Swift's questionable, but he'll play.
okay, I don't even see
The
him listed as
last I saw, he
questionable.
was questionable. Yeah, I mean,
I don't even see him on the
no,
list
he's not
now.
even on there.
He's
So
not even on the list. Yeah.
yeah, I think he practiced
But the thing with
partially.
Swift is you just can't tell if they're going to use him
Nah,
or not. Last
nah,
week they did, week before they
yeah,
didn't.
all right.
But you got who is it? Is it Williams? Robinson? I can't remember his name. The guy they're using as their starter. He's
Oh, Williams, yeah,
Williams, right? He's been killing it. But it's and they've been using him primarily. He's not on the list either, so it's
yeah.
not like he's out hurt either.
But I'll take the first place team and being disrespected and take the +2.
Yeah, I think I will too. Um, not only being disrespected, but they have too many weapons. Um, and Detroit's defense, though it has improved quite a bit lately, is still one of the lowest ranked in the league, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
So if they get Cook going, um, I think they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I was surprised they were picked at all. I thought it would be the other way around.
Hmm.
Maybe Minnesota by 3 or 4. I was surprised. And it held out all week at 1, and now it went to 2. You're right,
Right.
though, about Vegas. It scares me. Um, next on the list is Cleveland, Cincinnati. The Bengals are picked by 5.5. I will tell you, if I'm not mistaken, Cleveland's won 3 in a row over Cincinnati. They've had their number lately,
Wow.
which is very strange.
Right.
I heard that the other day, and I was like, that seems weird.
Yeah.
Now Watson's at quarterback, but that didn't impress me. I don't
No,
know
and
about you. I was not
that was
impressed.
that was the game I thought I was going to win last week because the only thing that helped survive Cleveland was two defensive scores and a punt
Yeah,
return.
yeah, that's the only
Other than
reason.
that,
And they were
Watson
late. They
Watson
were
shit the
late. I
bed. He
thought
should
I
have
was
stayed
going to
in
lose
bed.
that game on the
Yeah,
spread. I said,
yeah.
"Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
losing this."
Watson is not good. I mean,
I
granted, he
like,
hasn't
yeah.
played in 3 years, but I don't think he's going to
I don't
improve
think
over
he's
one
either
week.
he's not
So
ready or the fact that he's been out 3 years,
yeah,
maybe his good days are over. Who knows? But
so I think their 3-game winning streak is going to come
maybe
against it.
done. It could
Yeah,
be.
I'll take Bengals across the board.
Okay. I will say T. Higgins is
Question,
questionable with a hamstring.
but they
Uh,
got Chase back.
but they do have Chase back, yeah. And I think Higgins will play. Cleveland, Mari Cooper is questionable with a hip. Denzel Ward, he's a cornerback. He's questionable with an ankle. AJ Green is questionable with a knee. Let's see if there's anybody else. And Njoku is questionable with a knee. So if nothing else, I'm going to go with Cincinnati just because of some of these injuries showing up. I don't see Deshaun Watson. I see a different Watson on here on the half. Isaiah Watson. Oh, that's Isaiah Weston. Okay. So yeah, I think if for no other reason, and half these guys are, even if they're playing banged up. Cincinnati came off a big win. I think they can gain some more traction. So yeah, I'm gonna go with them too, buddy. At some point, one of these will be a difference, but right now, not so much. Houston and Dallas, the spread in Dallas is 63 points now, 17.5 points.
17 and a half, the biggest spread of the year.
Maybe of the year, if not maybe the biggest in a couple of years. It is huge. I will
Houston,
tell you that I
yeah,
am going to go
Houston,
out on a limb and take Dallas across, not across, straight up. And
and
I'm
I think
thinking you will
Houston,
too.
Mills is going to start back at quarterback for Houston.
Okay. Davis, is it Davis Mills? Yeah.
Yeah,
He's going back in it. Yeah,
yeah, he's going back
they
in,
gave
but
the other kid a chance to show something, and he's got nothing. So
yeah, and I believe Cooks, the receiver, is
out
questionable.
for them. Let me see. Um, let's see if anybody's out for Dallas. Curse the strong safety is questionable. Demarcus Lawrence is questionable. Tyron Smith is questionable. Oh, he's on IR, but he's an offensive tackle. I'm looking to see Bueller. That's all I see as far as skill players. James Washington, Simi Fehako. Yeah, nobody else that we would know as a playmaker.
Yeah,
Let's look at Houston. I think you're right about
Brandon Cook.
Brandon Cooks, right? Kicker is on a limited practice with a groin injury still, Fairburn. So I wonder who's going to replace him. Cooks is questionable, yeah. Did not practice, has a calf injury. So man, 17 and a half.
I just
Holy
think that
snikes,
they
Batman.
can't put the points up, so I'll take Dallas across the board.
I mean, after seeing what Dallas did to Indy, but they didn't do it till the
But
fourth
that was in the
quarter.
fourth quarter. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
mean, they
was all
scored like 30
garbage
points in
time,
the fourth
basically.
quarter. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm only the spread is so big that I really am tempted to take Houston to keep it close. And they're changing their quarterback to their number one original guy. I don't know, man. It's hard. I'm gonna go with Houston to cover. I'll take Dallas straight, Houston to cover. for two reasons. One, we need a game that's a little different than each other. And two, that 17.5 point spread just
Yeah, it's a lot.
I may call you or text you and change it, buddy, but 17.5 seems way too high
Right.
for an NFL game of any kind. You never and as they say, you never know. That's why they play the game.
Hmm.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is picked by 2, and I'm sure that is because of Lamar Jackson. Let me see if he has officially been ruled out, but I think he has been.
I think he might be questionable, but he's not playing.
But he's not going to play. No. Let's see. This one should be Baltimore here. That's Buffalo. There we go. Okay. Stanley Worley, Meekin, Zeigner, Jackson. Lamar Jackson did not practice. PCL questionable. But I'm thinking you're right. I'm thinking he's going to be out. Dobbins, oh, he's still on IR. The rest of these guys are on IR. Okay, so it is a 2-point spread for Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh's got Watt out again.
Do they really?
Watt's
I
out,
didn't check it yet.
and I
didn't go
believe
down.
I think somebody else is. I can't think who it is.
Wow, yet they're picking Pittsburgh by 2. That's crazy. That's nuts. Let's see. Let's go over here. I'm trying to find a quicker way to do this for us one of these days. Or I'm going to have to spend time doing it right before the show because you want it updated too.
Right.
Pittsburgh. Boswell, the kicker, still on IR. It says week 14, which is this week. So I don't know. Groin still. Running. Oh, Najee Harris is questionable with an oblique. But he's been questionable, hasn't
he? Yeah.
Did he play last week? I know he didn't play the week
Yeah,
before, or he came out.
but
He did.
he played, but he came out.
But he came out, right? Benny Snell went in.
Yeah.
Johnson, Deontay Johnson, questionable with a hip. That's who it was you're probably thinking of.
Yeah.
No one else I see on here that is Anthony Miller, the wide. Oh, he's on injured reserve. This other kid for Baltimore, yeah, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he's not bad either. And TJ Watt is out, like you said. Well, actually, they don't list TJ Watt here as out. He's not even on the list, bro. Oh, yes, he is. I apologize. Toward the bottom. There he is, ribs. It just says questionable, though.
Yeah, I read earlier he was out.
He's out. All right. I'll tell you, I'm gonna. Boy, that's tough. Because I like Kenny Pickett. He's starting to look pretty good. The Pickens combination is
Right. Yeah.
looking pretty good. And I'll be honest with you, I think Benny Snell is running the ball better than Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh across the board. I was thinking Baltimore. Watch it bite me in the ass again. Because every time I talk myself out of something, it bites me in the ass. But I think it's going to be Pittsburgh, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. I took Pittsburgh across the board.
Did you across the board? Now I may change. I may get a whiff of something in the air again and let you know that I'm going to take. If I take Baltimore, it'll be across the board. But I'm going to keep an eye on the Lamar Jackson thing too. But I don't know if we'll get lucky there or not. Jacksonville, Tennessee. The Titans are picked, but only by 4, and I am sure that is because of what happened in Philly. But now you've got front office drama. They want to go, quote unquote, in a different direction. They think they gotten stagnant. So I wonder if that means Mike Vrabel's days are numbered, like finish the season and he may be gone, unless they take another whooping. But it looks like this owner wants to clean house. It's the original owner's daughter.
Right.
She's been kind of waiting, And from what I understand, she wasn't getting much play in the room. Like people weren't paying attention to her
Right.
from the
Well,
football side, and she's decided that that's going to stop.
yeah. Well,
But I don't think it makes a difference for this
they're going to
week.
win the division. They're going to win the
Yeah,
division. I don't
yeah,
know what they're worried about right now, but
yeah, exactly. Um, it's 4.
I believe,
Jacksonville has played tough all season, but
yeah. I'm not sure what Tannehill. He's got problems with both ankles, but I'm not sure if he's
that's
close.
true. Yeah, because he hurt another one last week, right? He was on
Yeah.
the. I mean, at one point, he was walking like me. He was weebling. He was living proof Weebles wobble and we do fall the frig down. Lion marketing bastards. Let's see if they have him listed on the Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive end, is questionable with an ankle. He was last week too. He's been questionable the last couple of weeks. Played last week in Philly, but was not a factor. I
Right.
don't know if that was Philly's O line or if that was because he's hobbled. I don't see Tannehill on, but I'm going to make sure. He's not on the list, my friend.
Okay.
So he must be able to play. I think Tennessee wants to prove something after last week. I think they're going to come out fired up.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And you
think they'll
still
get.
got Derrick Henry. I
Yeah, I think
mean,
they'll get the running game back on
yeah.
track. And
So I'm going to take them across the board.
yep, I will too.
Okay. Let's see who these guys say is next because it's down to the
Actually,
Chiefs.
you know what? I think I might take the +4 with the Jacks. That could might be a field
Oh,
goal game.
oh,
Might be a
okay. And you
field goal
could be
game.
right, Bill. I mean, I'm hesitant on it a little bit. Um, so all right. So you want to take Jacksonville to cover.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not is that well, that's not really your up. We don't have an upset pick this week, do we? Unless you count me taking Houston as and the spread as an upset pick. Um, let's see. We said this one was there. This one is there. And this one is there. Circling the favorites here. Okay, and you're going to take Jacksonville to cover. All right. Next should be, and it is, Kansas City and Denver. The Chiefs are picked by 9. It is in Denver, so it isn't Mile High. That's probably Denver's only good piece of news.
Yeah.
Kansas
Well,
City's getting Tony back. They may have Hardman back, if not this week. It looks like next week. So they're
yeah.
getting weapons back. Their defense isn't bad, Denver's, but their
Right.
offense is just
But the Broncos,
atrocious.
they were 9-point underdogs last week, and they
They
barely
covered.
lost by they barely lost by a point
That's true. They
last last
covered.
pla- last play of the game
Yeah, and they could
against the
cover.
Ravens.
Their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing is that was the Ravens after Lamar Jackson was gone.
Right. And I
So
just think that loss last week to the Bengals should the Chiefs should come back and win, and they'll probably win by more than 9. I'll
I
take
was going to
Kansas
say,
City across the board.
yeah, I was going to say, I think the Chiefs want to stay in that hunt for the conference bye week, the best conference record, because their records are tied
Right.
with Buffalo, but Buffalo has the tiebreaker. So if they stay with Buffalo and Buffalo loses a game somewhere, Kansas City could pop right. So they want to stay there, I think. And I think, like you said, I think they want it's a division game. Denver's offense is almost non-existent. People are already complaining about Russell Wilson to try to trade him and get rid of him, which good luck. You've signed him
Yeah.
forever. You know,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. So I'm with you. I think it's going to be Kansas City across the board. They're getting, like I said, they're getting Denarius Toney back. So he'll probably return kicks. And we saw how they used him in just that 2-week span. And Andy Reid's going to use the hell out of him. So
Right.
especially since Hardman's still out. I think I just saw he's going to be out one more week.
Right.
So I'm with you. It's going to be Kansas City across the board. Favored by 9. That is a little high, but we'll keep an eye on it before Sunday. And last and certainly not least, but I don't understand the spread. The Panthers and the Seahawks, Carolina and Seattle, the spread is only 4.5. I don't understand this, especially in Seattle with the 12th man.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's
That's just.
but the Seahawks are down to their third string running back. Walker's
Yeah, that's true.
questionable, and
Yeah, that's true.
Dallas, DJ Dallas is
He's
questionable.
questionable too, and
So
yeah, and I think they're both more than questionable. To me, it's more like doubtful.
yeah, I doubt. Yeah, I don't think they'll be playing because they just signed somebody, and
Yeah.
um,
Well, I'm taking Seattle across the board anyway.
yeah, I am too. I just think
I
they got
knew
too
you
much,
would.
you know. But Geno Smith's cooled off lately
A
too.
little
So
bit, a little bit. Like might be like they found something, but Carolina's defense isn't great. It's not bad, but
right,
it's not great. Um, Darnold has picked it up a little bit at quarterback for him, and
right.
the running back,
Foreman,
yeah, he's started to play pretty well. So they still have a running game. He's not McCaffrey, but who is?
right,
Um, but I think you're right. I think it's Seattle between the 12th man and the weapons, and it's only 4.5. I think I got to go with Seattle across the board as well.
right.
The last Sunday game listed until Sunday night is Tampa Bay and the Niners. The Niners are still picked by 3.5, even though it's Mr. Irrelevant playing. They signed Josh Johnson, who is probably going to be the backup.
Right.
And he's had moments, Johnson has.
Oh, sure.
I've
Sure.
never understood why he last few years hasn't gotten another shot. He's played for almost everybody now.
Yeah,
I
just
mean, he's
about.
been on like a bunch of rosters. But he's showed signs. I mean, he had a year in Washington when he was filling in
Yeah.
for a 4 or 5 game stretch, I think, where he did pretty well. I mean, he's semi-mobile, he's got a good arm. I just never understood why at least one of the lower level teams never really gave him a chance to get you a year or two till you get a draft pick. I mean, obviously we're not in the league, so we don't know, but I don't understand it because he just seems like he's serviceable, would be
Right.
my thing.
Right.
If you had a decent team, he could manage the game. He's better than some of the guys I've seen out there,
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, meanwhile,
Yeah. The last game, Tampa Bay, Monday night, they were
Monday
down.
night, I
They were
changed
down
it.
13 points with 5 minutes left to go.
Yep. That was the
And
other game I lost.
and
And if I hadn't switched it, I would have won the spread, but lost straight up.
right. Yeah. So
It's just like so
Tampa,
either way, I was screwed because it was that
yeah.
1 point. Wasn't it a 1 point or 2 point
Yeah.
game?
So that
Yeah,
could
it was 3 points.
uh,
1 point.
Tampa Bay's season around. They're going to win the division.
Well, yeah, now they are because New Orleans
But
had the same record as them. They knocked them
yeah,
back a peg.
yeah.
I think you're right. I think they're going to win that division, even if they're
I think they'll start
9 and
getting
8.
healthier, and I think 3.5 is a bonus. I think, like especially with San Francisco banged up the way they are.
So it smells like to me you're going to take Tampa to at
But
least cover.
but
But that being said, which is the motto of our show, it is the unofficial slogan of From the Cheap Seats.
you know
That
what?
being said,
I have nothing to lose. I'll take Tampa to win outright and take the points
okay, and across and to
across the
end
board.
points across the board with Tampa Bay. So I'm thinking, Bill, that is your upset pick of the week.
Yep,
There it is.
one of them.
It's one of them. Uh-oh, we're not done yet. Bills upset. Pow. POW. All right. That is Monday Night Football, but I don't understand why this New England game is at the bottom of the list.
New England's Monday night,
Well, then what is this one? Miami and the Chargers.
Sunday night game.
Oh, I'm off one. I apologize. You're right. There it is on the list. I even have it correct on the list. It's the RIF program. It's freaking killing me.
So are you taking the Niners?
Yes. So I should mark that as a difference as well. I am taking the Niners, and I'm taking them across the board by more than 3.5. I think Purdy looked purdy, buddy. He looked pretty good. All the puns are there. I think he's going to be good enough. He's not quite Jimmy G. He's we still don't know anything about Trey Lance yet because he got hurt before he could show,
Right.
what he could do. Really, to me, he looks okay. And even if something weird happens, like I said, I've got some faith in Josh Johnson.
Right.
I do. And they signed somebody else to be a third stringer, I think, but I can't remember who it is. But yeah, I took the Niners. I think they're going to be good enough. Plus, they still have most of their guys back except for Mitchell.
Right.
So I think they're going to be fine. You still got McCaffrey, Samuel, Kittle, Ayuk. So I think they're going to be okay. I think they got enough that they're going to get by more than 3.5. Miami and the Chargers, Sunday Night Football in Los Angeles. The Dolphins are picked by 3.
Yeah, this should be. I think this is going to be a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, well, I agree with you at least on the Miami side.
I think the Chargers, because Miami's defense isn't that good. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be my other upset special.
You know what? Is Mike Williams playing?
I think he's questionable.
Let's see. That would be LA. He's been questionable all season. And there hasn't been much of a question. He hasn't played. The question has been no. The answer. Because he just hasn't.
But Keenan Allen's back.
Yes, Allen is back. And playing pretty well.
Yeah, I think he scored the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he has. Let's see. Where is Mike Williams? I don't see him on here. Wide receiver. Oh, that's Guyton, who's on IR. I don't see him on the list, bud.
Oh, so maybe he'll play.
Maybe he's playing. And if he's playing, you're right. That does change some things for me. I thought he was out, but he is not on the injured list. Dustin Hopkins is still on the injured list, but hey, I like Dicker the kicker. We know that. They are playing in LA. Miami's coming off a devastating loss to Purdy in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Who, they got behind and they couldn't catch up.
Right. So
that's
if Purdy could do that, I think
I definitely think Herbert
could do it.
Could light him up. In all honesty, Herbert could light him up. But Tua could light up the Chargers D. Because it's not as good as they thought. But the Chargers do have Mr. Bosa.
Yeah.
When you have a Bosa in the pocket, my friend, you're on the plus side to me defensively. So which way you want to go, pal? It's a 3-point spread.
Taking the Chargers across the board.
Ooh, LAC across the board. Woo. Bills number 2 upset pick of the week, basically. I'll tell you, it's tough. If it was more than 3, I would probably take Miami to win and the Chargers to cover. but it's 3 on the dot. I hate that. That's exactly a field goal. Couldn't be 3.5 or 2.5. Could either way. So I think Miami's got a little bit too much offense. I think I'm going to go with them across the board, my friend.
Okay.
And I'll put this down as a difference. There we go. Last but and least is a game that just is somebody just shooting me. The Patriots are picked by 2 over Arizona.
And this will be my 3rd upset in a row.
You're
I'll take
taking
Arizona,
huh? Well, you
New
might
England,
have
New
company on
England
this.
just offensively is
Is
just
horrible. They're a crap show. Really. I don't understand.
they got Stevenson, and that's about it.
I don't understand this spread. I do not, unless we're missing something. Unless, Kyler Murray has no legs. And even then, Colt McCoy and his shots didn't look bad at all. So I'm looking to see if there's any outstanding injuries that would explain this. Hopkins is questionable. It says illness though, so chances are he'll be back. That's usually can't go to practice. There's a guy. They have a guy named Coward on their team. I would have changed my name. Hurts is still on IR. Is he done for the season? Because it
I
says
believe
MCL,
so.
MCL,
I
ACL,
believe
MCL.
so. Yeah.
That's a shame. He's a good guy, as well
I
as a
think he
great
had
player.
Did
Did he have
yesterday.
surgery?
I heard that. Yeah, I
Well, if
think
he's
so.
surgery,
I
he's
think that's what
done,
I read.
especially
Yeah.
this time of the season. Rondale Moore is questionable with groin. Usually a groin. If you heard it last week, you ain't back the next week. Darrell Williams is on IR. I think that's it. All right. So I guess to do due diligence, we should look at New England. I cannot believe New England. Really, seriously. Somebody just. Worst part is when you fight this and you say something like I say with Vegas, something comes up. And I look like crap. Trent Brown, the tackle, is out. Oh, no, he's not out. He's questionable. Jacoby Myers is questionable with a concussion. Ooh, that makes that a little interesting. Jalen Mills, the corner, is questionable with a groin. Damian Harris is questionable with a thigh. Didn't you say he was out, you thought?
Harris, he was
Yeah,
out last week, so I think he may play this week.
he may play. I was going to say, it says questionable. Oh, no, Brian Hoyer's out. He's on IR. How did Brian Hoyer get on IR? I mean, he hasn't played.
Yeah, I
Did he
don't
play
know.
all season? Because even when what's his name was out, they brought in Happy Zappy.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that at all. But Ty Montgomery's still on IR. I just don't see why this Arizona pick is there. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I know maybe I'll make that my official upset pick of the week because I don't have one yet. And that one, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And this is not even a that being said. I'm sticking with it. John's BOW is that one because I don't think I have another one. No, I don't. We have a couple differences with you, but that's the only one I think I'm really picking, except for Houston covering, which would be the upset of all upsets, probably. 17.5, though, it just seems like
Yeah.
it's too high for me to ignore. That is it, my friend. I can't think of anything else unless you can. Our bye weeks are Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, Indy. A lot of teams on byes, but they're making up for Thanksgiving
Yeah.
weekend, I guess.
Yep.
Arizona, Chicago, Green Bay, Indy, New Orleans, and Washington are your bye teams. Is this the last week for byes?
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is, right? So after this week, everybody will have had their bye, and we will have 16 games each week. Because this week I think we only have like 12 or
Yeah.
13.
More
Five,
games for
six,
me
seven,
have a
eight,
chance to make up
nine,
some.
10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. So yeah, 3 games for yeah. So you got that's right. More games for you to make up the difference, pal. And you were gonna
Yeah.
have 3 more weeks to do it. So you got time. It looks like it's gonna be uh um pretty standard week to me. Outside of I can't understand New England getting picked. And there was one that's close. I can't stand
The
or can't
Minnesota, the
see the
Minnesota one.
Minnesota game. Yeah. I mean, actually, we both picked an upset there too, because they're picking
Yeah.
Detroit by 2.
Yeah.
Um, but that's to me, that's not a legitimate upset pick of the week. Because I don't understand. Oh, that's 2 games. I don't understand the spreads.
Yeah.
But like you said, this might come down to Vegas knows something we don't. And that is not beyond the realm of possibility from
Yeah.
what I've
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah. That's
Somebody,
something that
there's
we
some
can control.
insiders, right? We can't, yeah. We would have to have a staff member fly to all these teams' facilities. And, we're just a couple of dollars short of that. So we can't do
Yeah.
that. Just a
Yeah.
couple
Right.
bucks. It's just a couple bucks short of that, like a couple $100,000 short of that. So, but unless you've got something else, pal, I think we're done because I think
Yeah,
that's
I just want to give a special shout out to my granddaughter. She'll be 1 year old tomorrow, Eliana.
congratulations to
Yeah,
her and to you and to her mom and
I
grandma.
appreciate it. And she's walking around already,
Is
1 years
she?
old. Yeah, yeah,
Can't stop now. Now the fun begins, buddy.
yeah.
She's walking around. Is she talking much yet?
Not too much. I mean, she'll like yell or or say things that you don't understand. But I mean,
Yeah.
she does actually. She does say cat. Like she loves
Oh,
the
she's
cat,
oh no.
and
But does
and the
she
cat
point at the
meows.
cat when she says it, or does she
Well,
point at the
the cat.
dog?
Well, the cat meows, and she'll try chase after the cat and say,
Oh,
"Cat,
geez.
cat."
Cat. Oh, I'm just thinking, so long as she's not chasing after the dog, going cat.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, but hey, that happens too.
yeah,
Um, all right, buddy. So I guess let's get ready to get out of here.
yeah.
I will talk to you in a few days, and we can go over the baseball stuff for our viewers, and
Sounds good.
get ready for next week's NFL
Yeah,
games on another
and,
show.
and we want to thank Dennis also.
Oh, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I have it right here in front of me. And we do want to thank Dennis. Man, see, Bill, one of us has to be on the ball. Thank God it's you. I want to thank my pal Dennis and Grawley at Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in beautiful, and I do mean beautiful downtown Vineland, New Jersey. They're doing a lot of work in Vineland, actually, Bill.
Yeah.
I was talking to Dennis, and he's on the Vineland Development Improvement, I believe is what it's called, VDI or VDID. Um, and they're doing great work in Vineland, and it's great to see that Vineland's taking steps to improve, like basically Landis Avenue,
Hmm.
which when I was a kid, uh, that was the place to go. Landis Avenue was big time. I mean, I mean, they had a phrase, cruising the avenue, and you literally went down Landis Avenue.
Nice.
Nobody bothered you. You could
Yeah.
take your car, your girl, and you just cruise down the avenue, see all your friends. Hey, how's it going? Yo, what's up, man? You just go
Yeah.
out, play, have a good time, and see some friends and stuff at night. And it was almost like the old days that you'd see American Graffiti, or
Right.
you know, you took your car and you tried to impress the girls, and but the girls came down the avenue too, and some of them had cars. I mean, there was
Right.
no, it was it was a pretty cool deal. And they're trying to get it back to at least something like that again, to make sure that people have a place to go. It's where a lot of the businesses they're building back up.
Mhm.
You can reach Dennis and his folks, like we said, at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, or you can call them at 856-690-9482 if you have any type of realty need, whether it's sales, you want to buy a place, business and residential, you want to rent a place, rent out a place. Dennis and his folks know the ins and outs down there. And like we said, 634 East Landis Avenue, Vineland Realty Corporation. Go see my friend Dennis and Graldi. Tell them you were sent by us here from the Cheap Seats and or Public John Media. And they'll know that they can take care of you and that you're pretty good folks if you're watching to us and listening to us. So we appreciate that. Thanks, Dennis, once again for making this possible for us. Bill, unless you have something else, but thank
No.
you for that because once you get a little older, you'll realize someday, Bill, the memory starts to go.
It's already happening, brother. So I'm not
So,
even 60 yet, and it's already happening. So
oh man, shut up, you young punk ass. So, hey, thanks, Bill, for being on for all of us here. Thanks for
yeah,
watching us, folks. You can get us, remember, on Facebook, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Also on streaming radio at simplecastradio.com. Just put in Public John Media or From the Cheap Seats, either one. And we will talk to you later in the week or early next week to go over the baseball signings, and later in the week, of course, to review and go over week 15 of the National Football League. Thanks, everybody. If there's an injury or an update in the NFL, we'll see you Sunday for a quick express to update you so you can make your picks. Other than that, we'll see you then. Thanks, Bill. Have a great week, buddy.
you too, buddy. Take care.
Yep.